Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Another episode on Raj's Garage, and again we are going to cover two cars today. First and foremost, we are here at Autobody Technic. We're going to catch up with Bob, see how my E30 M3 Convertible is progressing. I know the car has been painted, so we'll see how it looks today, and we'll catch up with Bob and see what the process has been to get the car from primer to where it's at today. And then from here we're going to head on over to Jamie at J-Tech because my Escort RS Cosworth is ready to collect. Now let's find Bob and let's get into this episode. So we have found Bob.
Hey Raj.
Pulled him away, dragged him away from a car to come and have a look at my beautiful E30 M3 Convertible. And I've got to say, what a transformation from when I was here a few weeks ago to this. It's like ugly duckling turning into a swan.
It certainly is turning into swan. So I think the last time you saw it would have been in primer.
Correct. So it was here and we were talking about bare metal, which was an absolute shock for me. And I'm still sort of lifting myself off the floor knowing that there's going to be another bill coming for the bare metal, because I was hoping that we didn't have to go bare metal, but I understand, you know, the car's been painted numerous times before, and as you said previously, a couple of the panels you had to go bare metal, and you're a third of the way in, so you thought, you know what, let's just go fully bare metal.
Yeah, that's right. So like, I remember when we spoke, we knew we were going to do a couple of panels, but as we went on, it was just like, right, you know what, guys, we've got like about 3 or 4 panels left. Let's just do the whole thing. So we've got an equal layer of paint all the way around, and we now know we've got a really good foundation to work off of.
We were at bare metal stage last time when I came, and obviously you guys saw that in the previous episode. From there, obviously it went into the booth.
Yep.
And what's the stage between here and the booth, and then obviously paint?
Back here again.
And how we got to here. And most importantly, I think a lot of the guys here who are watching the channel would like to know how many man hours. Can you roughly quantify the number of man hours that you're currently in to get it to this level?
Right. So where we were when we chemically paint stripped it, which attacked all those layers of paint, and then we were able to scrape it off. From there, when it's down to bare metal, we got to give it a coat of anti-corrosion epoxy primer. Now the car is sealed from the elements. Off of that, then we were able to start doing any previous repairs, previous dents that were on there, you know, panel beated them out, and then just a very light skim of fill just to take out any ripples. Over the top of that, then it was 3 coats of a super high build, and then back out where we block sanded it. After the panels were arrow straight, back into the spray booth, and that's where it was given 2 coats of a wet on wet primer. Reason we give it a wet on wet primer, being a dark color, we want to get our ground coat, our primers, as close of a color to the color that we're putting on the car. So we want to put down a black primer, 2 coats of that, which then allowed us to just put our 3 coats of water-based base coat down. And then after that, then it's 2 coats of ultra high solid lacquers.
Sounds very technical, you know. I'm thinking you're just going to strip the car back, do a bit of bare metal and paint the damn thing and give it back to me. That sounds very complicated. Would that have been done in 1992, 91 when this car came out of the factory?
Back then in the 1980s, early 1990s, the lacquers were called MS, medium solids. So the structure that the lacquers are built up from wasn't as good as what they built up from today. Ultra high solids, the structure's a lot more dense, becomes thicker. What we would have been putting 3 to 4 coats of medium solid lacquers on back then, today 2 coats gives us the equivalent of what the old paint was. It's all to do with less toxic fumes going out into the environment. Rather than putting 3 or 4 or 5 coats of MS lacquer on, we only need to put 2 coats on, which grows and expands and becomes what we see there.
The macabre blue paint, I'm assuming that doesn't just come out of a tin. You can't just order Macau blue paint?
Well,
can you?
you can literally just call up the paint suppliers and say, hey, look, send me 4 litres of Macau blue. We don't order paint in, we mix our own paints here.
Right.
So we took the colour code from the car, inputted it into our system. So we use a system called Spectral Novel. We'll input the colour code into the paint system, into the computer. It will tell us how many shades Spectral or Novel have in Macau blue. We'll find the colour chart for that. We'll then try to find a area of the car that hasn't been painted. So we know that at certain times this whole car had been resprayed.
Correct, yeah.
So from there we might go into the door shut, try and find the original paint in the door shut or the inside of the door, and choose the shade that we want. From there, then we'll mix the paint. It will give us a formula, what the quantity of each tinter is to go into mixing Macau blue.
How many layers of Macau blue do you actually put on the car?
The idea of paint, some people might want to differ with me.
Everyone's got a different process, and I know there's going to be some painters or some of you who are maybe familiar with paint that would do it differently. What would you do differently? Just drop a comment below.
At almost every stage, we've put a 2K product down. 2K means it takes 2 components to make the paint go off. The Macau blue is a water-based paint. There's no activator. That's going to dry by evaporation. That's not going to harden as hard as any of the 2K layers that we've put down. So that's why they recommend the least amount of paint to put on the panel so long as it's covered. That's why we put down a black base to allow us to put our standard 3 or 4 coats of base coat down. If we start layering more and more layers of Macau blue down the water base, there's a possibility that the lower layers might not through dry, which can cause problems
later on down the road.
Later on down the road.
And then on top of that, lacquer.
Then the ultra high solid lacquer, 2 coats of that. So at the moment, pretty much the whole car's been de-nibbed, cut back, polished. We've just got a little bit of sanding and polishing to do on the boot. We'll go at it with a 2000 wet and dry. Then we'll go over it with a 3000 and then a 5000 and then polishing it up from there.
So you haven't answered my question. How many hours?
Hours, I haven't done a full calculation on it yet, but I think we are around about the 250 to 300 hours.
Oh, really? To get it to this level?
To get it to this level.
That's a lot of hours. So those of you that think that can get a car painted for £2,000 or £3,000, good luck. Good luck. Especially if we're talking bare metal and it's 200-300 hours.
To be quite honest, £2,000 or £3,000 in today, you'll be lucky if that covers paints and materials.
Well, the previous owner, that's what he spent on a paint job. It was about £3,000.
Oh, well, there you go.
And I think it literally was a lick of paint on the original paint, and that's why it probably wasn't even in a dust-free environment because you could see dust underneath the top coat.
Right.
So that is what it takes. Very technical, I've got to say. I didn't realise there was so much involved. That's what it takes to paint a car correctly nowadays, and that's why it costs so much. We'll talk about costs when I come to pick the car up, and we'll give you a rough idea of what it would cost to bare metal and repaint a car. This will cost slightly less because there's no roof, but I'll give you an idea of what it would cost. How long do you think before the car's finished and back with me?
This week we're cutting it back, polishing it. Next week we'll be getting your bumpers painted and start building them up, getting them on the car. So I reckon probably another 10 days or so, 10 working days or so.
So hopefully by the end of June the car will be back with me. We'll be back here again when it's all done to pick the car up. We'll have a walk around. We'll talk about any problems you found between now and that particular, the sort of final episode, the journey that we've had here at Autobody Technic. As previously, as I mentioned, all of Bob's details, Autobody Technic, are down below in the description. The Instagram handle's now on the screen. We're going to leave Bob because I know he's busy. He's preparing for an event himself because he's been working on an amazing project, and we'll show you snippets of that project now on the screen. We are now going to head on over to Jamie at J-Tech Automotive, because my Escort Cosworth, which you saw in the last episode, is now ready for collection. We're going to go over there, have a chat with him, see what he's done to the car, and we'll drive that back from Reading to Hayes, and hopefully, fingers crossed, I can get some boost this time. Bob, thank you very much.
Thanks for coming down, Rob.
And I will see you in a few weeks. So, I'm back here at J-Tech Automotive in Reading. I've actually bought our latest purchase, a hot hatch, the new Renault 5 E-Tech, to pick up one of my classic hot hatches, Ford Escort RS Cosworth. If you recall, the car wasn't running right, wasn't boosting, there were fueling issues. So I dropped the car off to Jamie a few weeks ago, fixed that, and just have a look at the car, just general overview of the car, and let me know if there's any other issues that need resolving. So let's find Jamie, let's mic him up, let's have a chat, and then we're gonna go for a drive. I'm gonna drive that back to Cass, and I'll be able to tell you if it's running A1 or if it's running like a back as it was before. We have found Jamie. He's mic'd up, ready to go.
Better be careful.
Ready to see the back of my Cosy?
Not really, I like it.
That's good to know.
The amount of comments you get on it are unbelievable, especially the number plate, funnily enough. But even when you're driving it, people snap their neck off because you don't see them. You don't see them being used anyway.
The number plate, is that negative or positive?
No, positive. It's a good plate for one of these, isn't it?
It is actually, and since we're talking about that plate might be going up for sale imminently. You're happy with the car, you're happy with the condition of the car, but you were not happy with the way it was running, correct?
You couldn't be happy with how it was running.
No, because it was running really poor.
I couldn't get it above 2,000 RPM without feeling like I was damaging it.
How did you tackle the biggest issue, and what other issues did you find when you started sort of getting into the nitty gritty of the car, getting it on the ramp and starting to look around it?
So we did a smoke test, we checked spark plugs, checked the fuel pressure. They had the wrong spark plugs in it. They had the wrong reach and they had the wrong heat range. They're way too hotter plug. So we changed them and it got better, but it didn't fix the issue. We always suspected fuel pressure.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was fuel pressure. So we put a new in-tank pump in, new filter and a fuel pressure regulator. So that sorted the running actually. That was quite good. We had to change the fuel tank straps because to change the pump, you've got to take the tank out. The minute we took the tank out, Ford's, one of the fuel tank straps just sheared in half. So we put stainless ones on it, but they've been painted black so they're not shiny. It had an inlet manifold leak from the inlet manifold gasket. So we've changed that and the throttle body gasket. There was a rattle from the prop. The front prop touches the downpipe. It's got an aftermarket downpipe on it. It's not going to move on the turbo studs, so we didn't risk shearing the studs in the back of the turbo.
So do you think that's just the way the aftermarket downpipe and the exhaust has been manufactured?
Yeah, that's what you can't get the exhaust to sit level. The tip on the back is quite annoying in the fact that it's wonky and you can't get it to sit level because of the angle the exhaust's been fitted at and it's done up. It needs swinging to get it all level, which would take it away from the prop because the bolts and the downpipe are fixed.
I've got somebody for that.
You can't do that.
Yeah,
perfect.
I've got somebody for that.
So yeah, that's the knock on the exhaust. Oh, balanced all the wheels. The wheels were massively out of balance.
So it was balanced previously, but last year in 24, when I took it out to the Vista Heritage Run, I went over a pothole.
Yep.
And I think that knocked it all out.
Could have knocked it out or knocked some weights off. Some wheels didn't have any weights on, so I presume some weights had come off. So we balanced all them. The wheel wobble's gone, and then did a geometry on it. It was miles out. If you've hit a pothole and it's had new shock absorbers, which it has,
yes,
probably would be. So that's all been done, and yeah, it's a really nice thing to drive now.
And you've obviously test driven it, and you're happy with the way it drives now?
You couldn't drive it before. I don't know how you drove it here. If I'd have known it was that bad, I would have said trailer it, but it's here, and you couldn't get above 30 miles an hour in it. It goes above that quite easily now.
So you're giving it some beans, you're happy with it?
Only within the speed limits.
Okay. You're happy with the speed up to the speed limit?
Yeah, it gets
the way it builds up
quite quickly. Yeah.
That's good to know, and I'll test that on the way back.
Yep.
Obviously all within the speed limits. Any major issues that I need to know about, future upgrades and so on? That
No, not really. I would get the exhaust done because it is a bit annoying when you're driving it. Apart from that, it's really good. Corrosion, zero corrosion in the body. It could do a front disc and pads, if I'm honest. They've not done a lot of life, but because they've not done a lot of work, they're corroded on the inside edge. They've been painted to be nice, they look presentable, but they're not great.
You mentioned something about the injectors as well.
So there are your injectors there.
Okay, so what's the issue with the injectors?
I think one's dribbling slightly, and to verify they're all delivering the same correct amount of fuel pressure, you need to have them flow tested, cleaned. It might not change how it starts, but at least you know the injectors are right, because this has got quite old school management in it. Any engine with whatever management, in fairness, needs the right amount of fuel injected at the right time. So yeah, I would start with that, but we couldn't get them done in your timescale, unfortunately.
Yeah. And we'll talk about timescales in the car, why I needed the car back quite quickly. So maybe over the winter months, before we start getting grit on the roads, I'll get it back over to you.
Yep.
We'll do the discs and pads, sort the injectors out, and then it's good to go again for next year.
Absolutely.
So as it stands, the car should run totally different to the way it was running when I dropped it off.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Oh, and you need a clip for that.
Oh yes, we need a clip for that. So what we'll do now is we'll settle the bill, and then I'll jump back into the car. We'll set the cameras up, and I'll have a drive back, and we'll see how it drives, and we'll have a catch up in the car. But as always, thank you very much.
No worries, it's been a pleasure. Thanks for trusting us with it.
Let's sort that bill out then.
Okay, mate. They're yours anyway.
Cheers. Thank you. Right, so I've just left Jamie's place, and he's done a fantastic job. I've got a grin on my face because there we go. We have boost. Now, bearing in mind I've owned the car nearly 2 years, I've done less than probably 200 miles in those 2 years, and most of those miles haven't been with full boost, and I've been with a car that has had a couple of gremlins, maybe more than a couple, maybe 3 or 4 gremlins. And Jamie has put his magic touch, he's sprinkled his sauce, and he has sorted out another one of my classics. He's getting very good at doing that. And oh wow, he's done it again. Yes, we now have some speed. Okay, yes, it's not going to be like the newer cars. It won't deliver power like, you know, a Golf R will. But, you know, just put it into context, guys. This is a 30-year-old car, and this puts a smile on your face like no Golf R would do. Unless, obviously, you've got something that's highly modified. Jamie did also mention that the tracking and the alignment was all out, and now she's driving straight, she's boosting very well, doesn't crash about. So some simple jobs that needed to be done have truly transformed this car to what it should have been when I purchased it. And it's now an enjoyable car, which is putting a smile on my face. Cheers, mate. Thank you, thank you. Cheers, mate. Cheers, thanks. I was a little bit concerned that the fuel level was pretty low, and there'll be some crap in the bottom of the fuel tank going through that fresh fuel pump and into the car. So I feel a little bit better now, and plus I'll be able to give the car some proper boost. So here we go, guys. She boosts well. Oh, very nice. Very, very nice. Not been able to get the power down for a long time. It's a great feeling. You can hear the turbo spooling. I'm not sure if you'll catch it on camera. And it just sounds epic. Yes, there is some turbo lag, It's not like my 964 Turbo, which suffers from major turbo lag, and it doesn't have all the theatre and drama that my 964 Turbo has, but it still oozes that cool 90s retro turbo feel, off boost. So at the moment I'm on 0 bar, 4th gear. Let me drop it down. 3rd gear, 0, well, it's showing minus 0.6 bar, so totally off boost. Put our foot down on boost, plus 1.3 bar, and she goes. Ultimately, that's what you want. You want your classic car to run well when you want to enjoy it. You know, it's not an everyday car, but you want to be able to jump in it on a weekend, gorgeous weather, and just enjoy it for what it is. It's not going to be a super fast car. It's not going to do amazing 0 to 60 times, but it's that smile it puts on your face every time you do this and the turbo kicks in, which you just don't get on all the new stuff. This is amazing. So there we go, this car is now running exceptionally well. Earlier on I showed you my E30 M3 Convertible, which is with Bob having a repaint. We'll be revisiting Bob probably in the next episode. We also need to have a catch up with the guys down at Exotic and Supercar in Southampton, who have got my 355 in for all the mechanical and engine overhaul. Next for this car, one of the reasons why I wanted this car back quickly is because I'll be showing the car over at the London Concourse in June, early part of June. This and my 964 Turbo will both be on display, and I just wanted to ensure that the car's back in good time. I'm not stressing, and I can get the car detailed and prepped, ready for London Concourse. So guys, thanks for watching. Appreciate the love. Recently hit 10,000 subscribers on YouTube, but I know there's a fair few of you that are watching the content and are not subscribers. So I'd appreciate it if you can smash the subscribe button, also hit the like button, share this content with like-minded petrol heads and individuals. Thanks for watching guys, and I will see you on the next one.